It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Georgia Southern's assistant volleyball coach, Coach Taylor Sherwin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get involved in college coaching on the volleyball side?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny when people ask me this question because when I originally got done playing, I wanted nothing to do with the sport or sports in general or athletics. I had been doing it since I was very young. I started playing volleyball when I was 12. So I was like, you know what, let me try something new. I haven't been able to do anything new. So I went home after graduating from college, and then I tried to go literally on the opposite side of like the corporate world, doing that whole thing. And I went on some interviews and I was just like, this is not for me whatsoever. So that's kind of when my like love for the game and just being in athletics in general kind of pouring back into me, I guess you could say. I was watching the 2015 season just had started. So this was probably about August, September-ish. And I just remember watching games on TV and watching tons of them. And I was just like, wow, I really miss this. I miss being athletics. I miss like the hype of it all like the competitiveness, everything about it. And so that's kind of when I started knowing. I was like, okay, this is probably what I should do with my life. But yeah, that's kind of how that started.
What was it like going to Ohio State and playing volleyball there?
It was amazing. It's people are always like the Ohio State, like such a big deal. Obviously it's a very passionate school. The fans are very passionate. There's deep roots within it. I think that was the coolest thing, especially when I went on my visit as well. Just the rich history of the school. I was so proud to wear the big block O on my chest and the Ohio State name on me, and just representing everywhere I went, the Ohio State name. But it was a lot of fun. The fans were awesome. I miss games. I miss playing there. Just the camaraderie of it all, and football games and just everyday life there. It was just so much fun.
What was that like, obviously getting to put on that scarlet red jersey and have that the block on your shirt?
Yeah, it makes me proud because obviously you're in the moment, you don't really think about it or realize it, but you're just so focused on just winning all the time. But you're really playing for the people that played before you and the people that are coming after you. And again, like I said, there's such rich history, and we're all just so proud to have worn that the block O and Ohio State name on our chest. So
What were some of your biggest accomplishments during your college playing time?
yeah, we about 3 out of my 4 years, we actually made tournament Sweet 16, which was really cool. I got to my freshman year in preseason, I got to go play in Hawaii. I'm like, when do you ever get to go to Hawaii? So that was really cool to see. Their fans were amazing. It was like 8,000+ fans playing in front of. So that was really cool. Got to go to really cool places. Like I said, just playing there in general. And then awards, Setter of the Week type of awards. I was fortunate enough to get All-American, honorable mention my senior year. Just stuff like that. I'm sure there's other things, but those are the ones that kind of stick out in my head.
What was it like getting your first role as a volunteer assistant at Minnesota Golden Gophers?
Yeah, it was wild because the opportunity kind of fell into my lap, and I was, it was one of those things to kind of condense the whole story where I got the job on like a Tuesday, and this was like October. It was in October, is the Halloween weekend, so it was like mid-season, right at the midpoint, and I got the job on a Tuesday, and I flew up that Thursday. They played that Friday, and so I was just like kind of thrown into everything, but I wouldn't have had it any other way. But I, was able to work with Laura, the assistant coach at the time. And, it was cool because she coached me at Ohio State. So I was able to have that previous relationship with her. But obviously working under Hugh, who has an incredible track history, obviously with the Olympics and everything that he's done, and Matt, who's awesome too. And just their knowledge of the game is just incredible. And it helped me grow, my knowledge, and obviously wanting to get in coaching, but just the atmosphere in general, like I would say their fans are awesome and diehard fans as well. And just very welcoming in itself. And obviously they were having an awesome year that year. So being able to go to the Final Four with them, as much as I would have loved going there as a player, I was able to go there as a coach. And so that was an incredible experience for myself.
What was that feeling like, as you said, you went to the Final Four as a coach?
Yeah, I remember the game, and we were playing Texas, and you think there's some kind of level of nerves, obviously, because it's you're on a way bigger stage, but honestly, it's like you're in tunnel vision, and like there's so much going on around you, but you just kind of block out everything, and you're so focused on what is right in front of you. You don't have time to think about everything else that's going on, but it's incredible. Like, I mean, again, I would have loved to have gone there as a player, and it's one of the biggest stages, and just being able to have the opportunity though as a coach was just awesome.
How is it like, obviously, leaving the Golden Gophers to come to North Carolina to Appalachian?
Yeah, it was definitely a transition for myself. I mean, I'm obviously going from volunteer to like a full paid role. And so I loved it. Like the opportunity came about because of our other assistant, actually, and he was there the year previous to me as a volunteer, and and I've known each other since high school, so we had a previous relationship, but he was the one that put my name in for the job, and clearly I got it. And just the transition at first, it's kind of like nerve-wracking and scary because it's so new and the unknown of everything, but being able to work with Matt and Chad was amazing. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better staff to help me grow this full-time role for myself. And being new to this, obviously I knew the sport, but not the coaching aspect. I'm still learning and growing, and they have so much history with their coaching careers and everything. So it was really cool. And Boone's beautiful. So, I mean, I probably should be saying that since I'm at Georgia Southern, but it's a beautiful place. And I loved it. I loved it there. So.
What was it like, obviously, being enrolled in and responsible for the recruitment process and the official visit process at Appalachian?
Yeah, by the time I got there, they pretty much had that thing rolling. And so I kind of just jumped right in, and I was learning the whole time through it, and Chad did an incredible job, and Matt did as well. And just kind of soaking in how things were done with the official. And the biggest piece I took away was just like the relationship aspect of it, and growing the relationship piece with the recruits, but also with their families. And obviously it's a business, but we're trying to create relationships. Like, obviously these parents want to feel comfortable with us taking care of their kids for their daughters for 4 years or so, and they're very pivotal years in these young females. And so yeah, I was really just soaking everything in at the time.
During your time at Appalachian, what were some of your accomplishments?
At App, yeah. So I would say my first year was not a very good accomplishment, but a very good learning experience. I think we went like 5 and something. It was a really bad record. They had just come off of being in the Sun Belt championship the year previously. And so, but I'm thankful for that year, because I think it was such a learning process, not only for like me as a person, but me as a coach as well. And, we're not always going to have great years every year, as much as we would love to have winning records all the time. So that was interesting. But by my last year, so in 2018, we made it back to the Sun Belt championship game, and that was awesome. So just kind of seeing like my first year to then, like how much growth in itself. And it was a lot of hard work, but they did an awesome job. So that was pretty cool to experience that.
Of course, how is that like, obviously, being in the Sun Belt, coaching at Appalachian, and then going to Georgia Southern, which is in the same conference? What was that transition like of staying still in the same conference?
Yeah, it was really weird at first. When Chad first got the job and he told E and I he was going to take us, I think at the time, like those first few months, like there's so much going on. You can't really focus on like other things. And like, I knew in the back of my mind, like, yeah, this is kind of weird in the same conference, like we're rival schools, like yada, yada, yada. It wasn't until fall when we traveled up to App State, and I was like, this is so weird. Like I was literally in this place not even but a year ago working with the staff, like with Matt, but it was like really fun because of like the rivalry with it, and the fans were so involved with it, and the game was just like so intense. And I'm pretty sure we opened up with App at our place too. So yeah, it was weird at first, but it was fun. Like it was a good fun.
What was that feeling like, obviously, when you heard that Chad was going to bring you on to Georgia Southern?
Yeah, him and I had previous talks before. I know he was like interviewing, and us just talking about if I get a job, like I want to take you with me. And I was all on board. And he always tells the story, like he got the call, he got the job, and he called his wife first, and then he called me, and he called one of his mentors. But I remember on the phone, he called, he's like, so like, I got to ask, are you going to take me? I'm like, Chad, we've talked about this for like 5 times. Like, yes, I'm coming with you. Like, he's like, I just want to confirm, yada, yada. But it was awesome, just the transition piece of it. Him, Chad, E, and I, we all have a very unique dynamic and relationship among our staff that I cherish very much. Obviously, Chad and I worked together for 3 years at App previously, so we had that relationship right there. And I'd spoken about E and I have known each other since high school, so we've had that really rich history, literally growing up together. And then E and Chad have worked together, so again, such a unique dynamic among our staff. But I mean, when people say they're like family, like we really are like family. We've gone on trips together. We fight like family. Like, but I think it's very healthy if you don't have that kind of dynamic amongst your staff. So,
of course, what was that like? Obviously, going from Appalachian with the same staff to going to Georgia Southern and still having that same family staff.
Yeah, again, just very fortunate with that. I don't want to speak for others, but I don't know what other staffs are like, but I think the really cool thing is we always get complimented on our staff, and I think that's a huge compliment for us, and that we're who we are. We don't try to put up this front, and there's no gray area with us. Like, it is what it is. What you see is what you get, is what we always tell people. And so I think we kind of just take pride in that.
What is a typical game day for a Georgia Southern player?
Yeah, for a player, so if it's a Friday, they're going to class if they have class that morning. If not, they're probably sleeping in as they should, and getting treatment if they need it. We usually don't do pregame until around like 2:33ish. So they're doing pregame meal, kind of relaxing, and then we will go into serve and pass for about 45 minutes, and then we'll watch a little bit of film pre-match, and then we kind of head straight into the match. Saturday mornings, usually it's get up, gosh, I feel like it's been so long. So get up, and then we'll probably either do like some kind of like walkthrough, but then pregame meal, same setup as Friday. So we try not to overload them too much on game days with a lot of stuff leading up to the match.
What does a typical game day as a coach look like?
A lot of waiting around. I always tell people I hate the lead up to the game because, for us is we get in the office. Usually we'll probably get like a game day like workout in. Like E and I will go work out, and then we'll go back home, shower, do what we need to do, and then we kind of come back and just like wait around. We'll watch more film. And then go get pregame meal and we'll kind of bring it back. And then we go to serve and pass, but it's so much waiting around for us. And I'm like, I just want to get this going. Like, I'm just ready to go. Like, cause throughout the week, there's so much preparation going into it. And then the day comes and you're just kind of like sitting there waiting for hours for the game to start.
Of course, who are some of the teams that you face in the Sun Belt Conference besides obviously Appalachian?
Yeah, so we actually just added 4 new schools. So Southern Miss, ODU, JMU, and Marshall. So we'll face them. And then on our side, clearly us, Georgia State, Coastal, App. And then you have Troy, South Al, Texas State. UTA is no longer with us. You have Arkansas State, Little Rock's not with us anymore. Louisiana, Lafayette, and then Monroe. I'm pretty sure that's everyone. So
what's that like, obviously getting to face Coastal Carolina?
Yeah, it's fun. It's always such a fun atmosphere. Yeah, they're a really good team. They have obviously a lot of foreign girls, and that's awesome. And it's always unique playing them. And Joseph does a really good job at Coastal, clearly with his track record there. So always a really fun match, always really tough, but very competitive.
Of course, during the game, what is that like, obviously sitting right next to Chad and learning, obviously, from a head coach, what it takes to obviously build a program?
Yeah, it's fun. Again, like I've been able to work with him for 6+ years now, which is like crazy to think about because it feels like we just started working together. But yeah, I mean, like there's just his knowledge of the game. It's crazy and it's so good. And there's sometimes things that I think about, but I don't think about it in the way that he thinks about. And, for me, I'm like, oh, I've been doing volleyball forever, but like, he'll say something. I'm like, I've never thought about it in that way, or like would not have thought about it in that way. But I think the same for us. Maybe E and I will say stuff and he's like, oh, I never thought about it in that way. And I think, again, going back to our staff, that's what I love about us is that we're able to have that open communication with each other and learn from each other. But no, Chad's knowledge of volleyball is like incredible. I'm like learning every day from him, but that's what I would want from a boss anyway. So
can you talk about, of course, the culture that you've helped build for the Georgia Southern volleyball program?
Yeah, so coming in, we wanted these 4 cornerstones for the program, and so one of them is academic integrity, the other one's athletic excellence, then you have leadership development and serving others. And so those are kind of our 4 pillars for the program and for our culture in general. But culture, like we love to have fun, clearly, but we also know when it's time to have business, stay focused and business, and we got to get stuff done. But culturally, like we're open, honest, and genuine. That is the thing that we tell everyone in our team, and they know that as well. We're going to be open, we're going to be honest, and we're going to be genuine. Otherwise, it's like, what are we doing here? At that point, it just becomes very transactional. And again, yes, it's a business and there is a transactional piece to it. But at the same time, like we are here to mentor these girls. And again, these 4 pivotal years of their life. And so how can we make an impact on their life for them, and ultimately watch them across that stage with the diploma in their hand. But even beyond that, like going out into this real world, that it's hard, it's really hard. But we want to develop them to when those events in life become hard for them, they can look back on their time here and like, okay, like, I was in this similar situation then, how can I put the things I've learned then to this situation, if that makes sense. And we love growing relationships with these females and with the girls, and they're funny and they keep us on our toes, and I love it. And I can't keep up with half of the trends that they do these days, but they keep us informed with it all, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So
What does the recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to go into college volleyball?
yeah, I think it's different for everyone. Everyone's process is a little bit different. It's it's how much time you want to put into it, if that makes sense. How much are you willing to work to reach out to coaches and do the things that you need to do to kind of do really well on the courts? Are you putting in extra time athletically, but also doing your due diligence of research, of reaching out to these coaches, sending out sending out the film? And it's not your parents sending it out, it's you personally sending it out to coaches, and just really showing your interest in these schools.
Of course, when on the road as a coach, what are some of the things that you look at in these prospective student athletes?
Yeah, I think three things that we really look at are athleticism, IQ, and really just character. So obviously athleticism, like, your athletic ability on the court, IQ, what's your IQ like at your age, and character, like how are you treating others around you? How are you treating your coaches? What happens when you make a mistake? Are you going to go, woe is me? Or are you going to reach out to your teammates and forget about the next one? How do you interact with your parents? Like all those little things. And people don't think that we like notice those things, but we do. And that's kind of one of the biggest things for us. We don't want an energy vampire, as I guess John Gordon would say. We don't want those. And so, do you feel entitled to things? That's not okay as well. So yeah, those are kind of the three main things that we look for when we go out on the road.
Of course, when it comes to volleyball and stuff, how important is it to obviously go out and visit not just them at their high school, but also tournament wise?
Yeah, it's huge. I think another key piece of that is reaching out to those that, like their coaches. So club coaches, their high school coaches, what are they like? Not just club wise, but also in the high school. And, are there other people that that know them? And so really doing our due diligence of like, okay, what is this kid really like? Like, what do we really know about them? Because, obviously anyone can feed you stuff through an email, and that goes both ways for everyone. But, yeah, it's important. It's really important, obviously. So.
Of course, when these prospective student athletes come to Georgia Southern on the official visit, what does that look like for them?
Yeah, so for official visits, we ultimately we want them to be with the team as much as possible, because they're going to be with those girls when and if they come here. And so usually what it looks like, they'll arrive on campus. Depending on the time, we'll do lunch with them, and then from there, we have them meet with our academic advisor, Bailey, our strength coach, Kim, our Apex program, which is basically like a student athlete development program over the 4 years. So what does that look like? And that's with Glenn Hart, our sports administrator. And then from there, we'll do like a campus tour. And usually this whole time, like our team is with us as well. So there's a few girls, walking around with us and with the recruit and their parents. And so, and then from there, they'll probably just sit down with us as a coaching staff, kind of go through our spiel and all of that. And then from there, we release them and we allow them to go be with the girls, go hang out with them. We'll probably do a dinner with them later on that day, if time allows it. And then, they just go hang out with the girls, and they're not going to want to hang out with us old people. So why not go hang out with the girls? And again, just allowing them to really ask the hard questions, and what are we really like, and what is Georgia Southern really like, and how much do you like it here? All those things that they probably wouldn't ask us as a coaching staff in the first place. So.
Of course, as a coach, what is it like seeing those prospective student athletes get to put on that Georgia Southern jersey and fall in love with it?
It's awesome. It's such an awesome feeling, because we love where we're at. We love this school. We love the people here. We love the community. So why wouldn't we want to share that with these prospective student athletes as well, and have them have that feeling, what we feel, and you really don't understand until you get here. And so it's awesome. It's like a bittersweet feeling, I guess, if that's the right term to use. But yeah, so.
Of course, what are some of your future plans at Georgia Southern for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, we plan to be here. We plan to win championships. That's the ultimate goal. We want to win, and we want to again win championships and make into the NCAA tournament. This program has a rich history of winning, and we're getting back to that. And we've been building that. And as I think the first couple of years show that it was a little rough, but last year, we turned it around, and that's really just a testament to the girls investing in the vision of the program and where we want to take this. And so, yeah, I mean, we're going to win championships. I mean, there's no other way to put it. So
what advice would you give those high school prospects looking to go into college volleyball?
Yeah. Again, do your due diligence, like take the extra time to do the extra reps, get in the gym. I feel comfortable saying this because I was there once. And so, you're not missing out on much. That's all I gotta say. Like, if this is something that you really want to pursue in your future and go to college and play, like do the extra things. Again, do the extra reps in the gym, work out, do the extra working out, watch film. Like if you're able to do that at the club, watch film, create relationships amongst your club, because it really does go so fast, and you're going to miss it. And but just do your due diligence. Don't think it's just going to get handed to you.
What advice would you give those college volleyball players that are looking to go on the professional level, whether it's Athletes Unlimited or the U.S. Volleyball or even internationally?
Yeah, again, I think it goes back to what I just talked about. Like you got to put in the work. You got to do your due diligence. You got to do the extra reps, do the extra things. And as much as it sucks and you're probably missing out on some things, like it's going to pay off in the long run. And you got to do go the extra mile.
What advice would you give those future college volleyball coaches looking to get started in the industry?
Yeah, create relationships. Like put yourself out there and create relationships. Learn as much as you can. Don't be afraid to go to practices. Don't be afraid to reach out to coaches and email them asking for advice or just things that you want to know. Just grow your knowledge in the game. But the biggest thing is creating relationships, like as much as you can, because it really is about relationships and who you know. And you never know where it's going to take you or where you're going to end up. It happened with me at Minnesota, and that's why I say it. The person that was before me as a volunteer, I had a great relationship with him, and unfortunately he had to come back, and he put my name in, and I ended up, getting to be a volunteer for the rest of the year for them. And so it's who you know. Again, just build those relationships, as uncomfortable it may be for some of you.
Of course, where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Georgia Southern Volleyball Program app?
Yeah, so GS Volleyball for both accounts for us, Twitter and Instagram. And then mine is, I think, T-shirt. I think that's what it is. I could not even tell you what my handle is, but it's you'll find it on the GS Volleyball account. So
thank you again, Coach Taylor Sherwin, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the Georgia Southern Volleyball Program.
Thank you so much.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Taylor Sherwin, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.